When I got back to Virginia in October of 2008, I got right to work. Pickups are copper coils combined with magnets. I had a lot of different magnets, flexible rubber stripping, standard alnico and ceramic magnets as bars and buttons, and high-strength neodymium buttons. There are a lot of possibilities. I was just trying the first ones. Saying goes, crude but effective. Here I use the multimeter. I use the ohm meter setting so I can test the coil to make sure it isn't broken inside. To start, I used both a single wide piece of the weaker flexible magnetic strip that would span the entire coil and quarter-inch bar magnets running up the sides. Tape them together, tape them down, and there we go. Bink. Yeah, I used the compass to confirm I got side. This coil is north side up. In the end, I'll also be able to take my magnetic field card that shows the magnetic field. I also got some sheet metal, cut it into strips, because metal would shape the field if added. Then I had to attach the cables and plugs to the pickups. The wires are so hair thin you can't even see them, and I got to be careful not to break them pulling, but I take this little piece of fine sandpaper, try and get the enameling off. And if I sand too much, I'll sand right through the wire and break it, or pull it too hard and break it. The other trick here, because you can't see the enamel, I can see zero resistance, so then I can actually touch the area of wire I'm about to solder in two spots and see if I'm experiencing zero resistance, i.e. do I have all the enamel off. In this case, no, not yet. Once I've achieved zero resistance, I use a little bit of tape to stick it there at the base. When it's time for the solder, again I can brace myself on the table. I shake a lot. There it goes, all the way down. Now the first pickups are ready. I used tape to support and protect the fragile coil wires for now. This is still temporary, but I was ready for the historic moment. What would it sound like? Would it even work? I mean, be practically useful? But that's what I was trying to find out, if nothing else. All that was left to do was to mount them somewhere on the dulcimer, plug them in the amp, and turn it on. On a couple issues. The main one was where to mount the pickups on the dulcimer, because that affects the tone. Not as easy as it sounds. I had the two long coils I could mount between and to the left of the main bridges. The initial idea was to place them at the point beneath the strings where the strings intersected. The problem was the longest strings passed by both coils and were louder than the other shorter strings. Because with many strings at different angles to the pickup, it is harder to find a single point where all the strings will be equidistant from the pickup. The problem is balance. You want every string to have the same volume. There was the coil I designed to fit over the center bridge, sensing all the strings passing above and below it. This would require a different, taller bridge, but I was able to raise the present bridge temporarily for this test. Though it provided a great, simple one pickup solution to all the main strings, the problem was still the same. The lower strings passed across both sides of the coil, while the upper strings only passed over either half and were half as loud. In principle, though, it worked great. One coil, all the strings. With a taller bridge and more room to adjust, I might be able to balance it, or using this pickup in conjunction with other pickups biased towards the upper strings. Going back to the other long coils, I tried moving the left pickup over the strings instead of under, which places it much farther from the bass strings. This actually balanced the pickups well, but now I had a pickup that was potentially in the way of playing, since I did have a far left bridge to reach. Also, I had a problem where the magnets were strong enough to be slowly bending the pickup down to the strings without any support. I tried adding the steel strip to stiffen the coil, as well as just to see how it changed the sound. The other issue is just how to compare different pickups quickly and easily. Also, with all the different possible configurations and just one set of experimental coils, I had to take apart one configuration to make another, and I'd probably be experimenting like this for a long time to come. What I did was route the pickups I had on the dulcimer through the mixer, where I could easily punch them in and out in any combination, including the piezo there on the right. Then I could also record each pickup with some standard set of notes. Later, I could listen to the recordings of any pickup I made at any time and compare it with any number of others real easy. So I can punch them in and out, punch them all out. But it is, right now, as of now, an electric, truly electric solid body wound pickup.